All right, mate.
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Yeah. Just busy. Same old. Yeah. All good though.
Yeah,
What's been happening with you? You sent me a screen cap earlier of Anthropic billing.
I've spent about $1,500 on AI credits this week so far.
Doing
1,500.
doing what?
So one of them is Perplexity. I'm just trying to burn through. I bought a bunch of credits there in April and I didn't use them all. And now I'm buying extra credits because I'm trying to finish a job, of course. Now, because I'm going to cancel my Perplexity. That's my take home this week is I don't need Perplexity. So I'm down. I've spent about $100 on credits there today. And the job that it's doing right now is it's putting together a spreadsheet of the top 200 comedy podcasts and all the contact details for the producers. So it's spidering the websites, it's scouring all the information it can to find the producer contacts for all 200 of the top comedy podcasts and giving me a spreadsheet at the end. It's probably going to cost me $100 when it's done. No big deal. And then I'm going to give that to Claude. So the other thing I bought this week we're just getting right into it, I guess. I'm just gonna lay
Mhm.
into it. I bought Higgsfield this week. We've talked about it before. That's the
Mm.
video.
Yeah, Gabby got
Um,
that last week.
she bought it.
Well, she's paying for the monthly whatever.
Yeah. So I got a year. I bought a 1 year plan.
Yeah.
And apparently,
That's a
if you log in with your Gmail account, they'll send within a day they sent me like a 65% off, and then I tried to leave and it was like okay 68%, and I'm like all right. So I bought a year. I never do this, but
I know. Yeah.
I've been looking at their stuff for a while, and I bought like the max plan for a year, and it gives me 3,000 credits per month. So
Well.
yesterday I was like, you know what? I need to get this animated pilot done. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, it's
Hmm.
like a lot of ideas, right? You just need to birth them into the world and then let whatever happens happen.
Hmm.
But I was so far from the finish line and Grok was just not getting me to what I wanted and I was like, I was in the minutia, scene by scene, right? So I'm like, all right, Claude, Fable. They gave me they gave me $100 because Fable's no longer available, right? So I don't know if you got it. Did you get the $100 credit
I'm not
to
sure.
Fable?
I don't know.
Claude
Let's
offered
have a
me a
look.
$100 credit to Fable. So I was like, okay, I'll take it. And then I bought more credits to Fable yesterday. But what I did was uh, I connected Higgsfield to Claude, and I connected ElevenLabs, which has my voices for all my characters, to Claude. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm
I
visualizing. Go on.
I gave it a folder with all. So originally, this was going to be a book called Mutstein's Millions, right? So I had square pages drawn, 38 square pages drawn for this book. Then I decided I wanted to animate it. Okay, so these aren't 16 by 9 scenes. These are oddly cropped squares, right?
Mhm.
I gave it all the files. I said, look, here's a character Bible that I had already sort of generated with the help of Gemini. Here's a script, I took the book, um, the what was going to be the book, and had it generated into an animated pilot script using the story from the book, right? And the story is it's Pupstein or it's Mutstein, Maximilian Mutstein, his hawk owl, his Randy, the Prez, all these different characters. Each one has a voice in ElevenLabs already created. So I gave it everything. I put it all
You've
in a
already
project
done
folder.
those voices in the Level Labs previously, yeah?
Created them all. I created them. Well,
Mm.
yeah, I created the main character voices.
Hmm.
So then I gave it the script, I gave it the character Bible, and I said, you act as my animation studio using ElevenLabs and Higgsfield MCP. I want you to create for me complete my pilot, basically.
Hmm.
And you're going to need to you're going to need to take some liberties because I don't have everything I need. This was originally going to be a book. These images are square. They need to be made into 16 by 9 before they can be animated. This is when we need to do this, and I didn't really like I didn't go into like hardcore instructions. I was very sort of loose with what I said. I can tell you what the prompt was. Um, uh, and most of
I
the
just
prompt
I
was,
just claimed my £75 with three
there you
Fable
go.
5 credits. Thank you for
Congratulations.
reminding me
Yeah,
on that.
of course. So um, I I gave it everything. Here's what I want to do. Here's the script. All the voices are already in ElevenLabs. And then it starts, okay, permissions. What do we got? Well, give me this. Give me that. What do you got? I need permission to do this. I need permission to do this. Okay. Perplexity just finished my spreadsheet, 200 podcasts. So um, I gave her permissions to access everything. And then it was like, hey, there's three other characters in this video that we don't have voices for. Would you like me to create the voices for these characters? I'm like, yeah. So it's like, okay, each one has three choices. Their MP3s are in a folder. Tell me option A, B, or C. So I go and I check the folder, listen to the MP3s. I like option B. Boom. Okay. Intern 402. Which voice do you want? Option B. Boom. Okay. Keeps going. It's like, okay, I'm going to work on the first act. So it generates the first act, burns through tons of credits in the process, but I had like I paid for them. So I was like, okay. It didn't do a great job. It created sound effects. It created all the voices and all the dialogue, and that was pretty good. But then the animation, the model that it used on Higgsfield to animate the mouths didn't match up. They were just like randomly moving, and I'm like, what's going on here? And it's like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, now I get it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to generate another scene for you just to make sure this works. But I'm instead of me telling it what to animate and then trying to give you, and it gave me a Final Cut file, dude, with like the video scenes, the voices layered underneath, and the sound effects layered underneath that. Okay,
Wow.
so then it redid it, and this time what it did was it uploaded the sound effects and the voice timed to C Dance, and C Dance animated, and it lip synced. And now it's like, whoa, this is next level. So it took square images, used Higgsfield to extend out the backgrounds to make them 16 by 9, then used those images as keyframes to animate each scene.
Wow.
And now I would say there's about there's so that, so there's so it did so then once it got that, it did act 1. There's 4 acts. So it did act 1,
How long is
and
an act?
an act is about 2 minutes. So it's a 6 minute pilot when it's done, 6.5 minutes. So it did
Hmm.
that, and then it's like, okay, act 2, did act 2, and even like ran up against some like I'm watching Claude working, and it's like, oh, this generation failed. I'm doing it again. This one came up against community guidelines. I'm changing the prompt. Like it was unbelievable how it worked through it all. And by the end of the day yesterday, I had a complete 6.5 minute pilot animated, ready to go, and I still have like 1,200 credits left in Higgsfield this month at 3,000 a month. And that's with me making some mistakes and redoing stuff or whatever. But it created sound effects in ElevenLabs. It used my voices from ElevenLabs. I've connected ideogram to it now, and it's got like access to character creation with Becky. I'm doing all this crazy stuff with it right now. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna throw some money at this. I really want to take this to that level, right? So I got the 6.5 minute pilot, and out of that, there's 60 scenes in there, and I'd say out of that, there's about 6 or 7 scenes that I got to go back through and just have it regenerate. And I just got to go into Claude and say, hey, this hallucinated a little bit too crazy here, the style changed or whatever, but it already has all the stuff, so it'll just say, okay, here's the
Uh-huh.
prompt, what do you want to change? And then I can give it a couple other context images and say, hey, here's what I want to change. But this Higgsfield thing is so good. Like, I could take this video of me right now, and I could put me in I could put me in a classroom full of toddlers and me reading my
Which
book to children.
what models or variations or whatever you call them are you using with Higgsfield to do what you did? Because that's what blew my mind when Gabby showed me her account, the fucking options and the model. It's just mind blowing what's out
Well, Claude will
available.
Claude will figure out which model to
Yeah,
use.
that's the difference. Is you're using Claude to do it, aren't you? Yeah.
But Cdance is the one that is the one I'm using for most of this stuff. And Cdance is the one that will swap out your background. Like I'm thinking I'm
Mm,
probably going to tear down my green screen this week because I don't need it anymore. It's so good at this stuff. It'll swap out backgrounds for you. It'll do all this kind of stuff.
mhm.
And but yeah, complete project management. I did it all in Fable, so I spent a lot of money on the credits. I don't know if I needed to, but I did it because I wanted it to be good. I'm happy with the output, and I gotta rework some stuff, but all within my monthly credit allowance
Well, I
on.
guess this is a template for future stuff as well. So you've got files created that's reference material for future. So you've got to do it the best you can without any doubts that you can't do any better using the model, the best models available at the time or whatever,
Yeah,
maybe. So in real terms, how to have that 6.5 minute entire thing produced in real terms, what do you think that's cost you? Outside of, I know you already had voices with ElevenLabs, but like to take the resources you'd already got, which class has already paid for, what did that process that you went for roughly do you think cost you? Because that's what it
in
comes
cre
down to, isn't it? Like,
in
how
credits,
long would that have took you to do prior to all of this? Yeah. So what's the actual cost of that? Do you reckon that's cost you? You know what I mean?
two
In
hundred
credits
dollars.
and
We'll say
wow,
$200.
wow. And how long would that have took you to do it prior to this?
I couldn't have done it. There's no length of time because I'm not an animator. So I
Hmm.
don't have the skills. I would have had to pay my guy to animate. Do you know what keyframes are?
Hmm. Yeah.
So he would have had to animate keyframes.
I've never
You know,
used them, but I know what they are.
it's start and finish, right? So it's like,
Hmm.
this is where the character starts, this is where it finishes. And usually with most keyframes, there's not you gotta like the keyframe is like one step in the walk. It's not like, oh, walk from here to here. It's like you can create the okay, one step, two step, and then loop that, but you still got to create all the key, it's a lot. So this is like, hey, take this image and animate this character, and I can show you. Um, let me pull up. Can I do a screen share on here?
Should be able
Okay,
to, yeah. Stitch share.
all right, give me a sec. Let me see if I can pull this up for you because I want to show you what one of these looks like. And it's there is some there's some work to be done. This is a first draft
Yeah,
of
yeah.
a
Mm.
of a I'm just saying it out loud because it's important to note that this was done like this. These were just all
Off
these
the
acts
cuff,
are
yeah,
just
with no
Final Cut
real
files,
planning,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So let me just do a screen share here. Share, allow. Let's go. Quick time. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it, but
Can't hear it, but yeah.
hang on. Let me see. I'm gonna pipe this music. I'm gonna pipe the sound. I need you to hear the sound.
Hmm.
So give me one sec. I can pipe this in. Farrago. Okay. It's not Farrago. It's Loopback. Okay. And add QuickTime. Okay. You should be able to hear it now.
The world is a fire hydrant,
Hmm.
and I'm the only one with a full bladder. Let's jet.
This office is cluttered. I can't see the gold trim because of all these people holding things. It's a waste of cubic footage.
The Muttstein Tower, where floor space is more valuable than human rights.
Maxie boy, old chap, I've found a group of females downstairs. They say they're from the Human Rights Commission, which sounds like a very exclusive spa.
Randy, tell them we're busy. We have a private island to visit. Is the bone jet fueled?
Sir, the jet is grounded. I've discovered a new strain of turbine tetanus. If we fly, the wings might develop lockjaw. But I have something better.
Maximilian, we must consider the unknown unknowns. For instance, what if the interns didn't occupy space because they weren't visible to the eye?
Behold, my cure for being seen. For a mere 42 million and a laboratory that smells like burning rubber, I can make the entire workforce transparent.
Transparency. I love it. It's the buzzword of the fiscal year. Intern, drink this.
I feel lighter, but I also feel like my blood is made of gasoline.
Excellent. We can fit 3 times as many interns if we can't see them. Let's jet invisibly.
So that's Act 1.
That's very cool, man.
There's some stuff to be done, but to say that it took my script, my outline, my character Bible, my graphics, and did it all. It cropped. I even had my graphics were even two pages were in one PNG file, and it cropped them, and it was okay, expand this out. This is crop the next one, expand it. It's unbelievable. And I also connected ideogram to Claude because I wanted to do some character creation, and I'm okay, because I'm here's the other thing I created yesterday. Check this out.
How do you think those 4 acts took it and you to create?
What's that?
How long do you think it took for it to create those 4 acts with your input from you? Or did the process take time-wise?
It took the majority of the day.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was just running Higgsfield. It's doing it in the background. It's not me, talking to it. It's just running its tasks. So yeah, it's most of it was Higgsfield generation time. And the other thing is at the end, what it would do is, for some reason it had trouble, couldn't download the videos. And then it's I need you to download the videos before I can continue. And then and then it's here's all the video links. And I'm give me a command line to download all these videos. And it's oh yeah, here you go. Here's the command line. Paste it in the command line. Boom, downloads all the videos. Let me know when they're done. Okay, done. Moves on to the next thing. But the other thing I created yesterday, this is again using This is using Claude Design. This is your fault, by the way. I'm blaming you for all of this because you're the one who I was
You can blame
I was
me for that.
perfectly happy. I was perfectly happy hating AI, and then you were challenging me. So okay,
Well, yeah, I mean, just to give you an idea of the scenario I've got over here with the Claude love going on in this household. Gabby got cabin fever 2 nights ago, so she said, I want to go out and see if I can have a small glass of wine. We went out for a couple of hours, which was really nice to get out of the house for her and me. And then she's not at the point yet where she is as of last night, but she wasn't coming down. She didn't want the dogs getting on top of her and all that stuff. So we walk in the door and she said, right, I'm going back to Claude. I mean, I feel like I've been replaced by this geezer, this thing.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
it makes your life easier.
doesn't, because I get constant updates of what she's done with it, how great she thinks it is. Now apparently Claude's jealous of us. I mean, this is some level. So I've got you blaming me for this stuff, but at least you're productively blaming me, and she's just, yeah. I'm glad it's not a real person. Put it that way. So what's this?
This is Claude Design. One prompt. The prompt was, I want to create a simple browser-based game called Becky the Throat Goat. It works on mobile and desktop. Maybe I will port it to iOS eventually. Based on my character, Becky, she's a white goat with a long neck. The object of the game is to eat as many sausages as she can without getting caught by the male goats. She travels the countryside and eats sausages and carrots she finds in the style of Subway Surfer, which is a game, or the modern Mario 3D games. Have a look at my assets and use my ideogram MCP connector if you need to generate any other graphics. If I'm missing anything, tell me what you need and the easiest way to get it.
Wow.
And that was it. Okay. So this is what it created, and it's rudimentary. And now that I have Higgsfield, I could probably get a better generation out of it, which I'm going to try eventually. But this is the Becky the Throat Goat version 1 prompt game from Claude. Okay. So we start running. We have arrow keys. We got the sausages on the left here. So I move over here to get the sausages, and then I move back over here to get the sausages and carrots. If I hit that rock, the goats are going to catch me. Right. So I can jump. I can duck. Right? I can pick up the sausages. And then it's got like a
Wow.
golden sausage that makes me invincible. But then, yeah, if I hit the rock too many times, I can hit this rock, right? And then I can hit this one, I'll hit this duck. And eventually, see how it's like the bars showing me, oh, you're in trouble. You're
Mhm.
in trouble. Uh-oh, you're gonna, oh, this is it. Oh, and you're done. Right? And
Wow.
then you get this share, and it like creates a graphic you can copy, and like it's just incredible. It's just
That's
incredible.
Claude Design.
This is Claude Design. Uh, this was not using Fable. This was just Claude Design, and it created this in one go. No, like no, not a lot of back and forth. It it even like as it was going, it's like, oh, I had to create the sausage graphics, and I had to create a graphic of Becky from behind, and it asked me to approve those. And it like I couldn't believe what it did with so little. And now that I have access to other tools, the fact that I can say, hey, I want you to, okay, let's make some animations, let's really do this. To take it from this level to something that's maybe fun to play, we're not far.
Mm. And practically, the file or whatever it's generated, what is that? Like,
It's
what's the
HTML.
end? It's just
It's
a
an
HTML
it's an
based game. So
HTML
you,
file with two um what's it got? It's got an assets folder and a source folder. The source folder has a Python document in it and a template file, and the assets has a bunch of PNGs in it, and that's it.
wow.
So that's just dynamic HTML, loads in the browser, works on any device. You don't need to install it. You know what I mean? It's just a game. Dude,
Wow.
we live in the future, and I don't even know what to do with it. I'm like, okay,
Well, I know
I
we
want
keep having this conversation.
these are two things I wanted to do badly. Get this animated thing done because I spent like $800 on the art, months ago, and I didn't make a book out of it because it just didn't feel like a book. And now I've got this like draft of a pilot that I'm almost there with. Um, and like I can't believe what it did for me. And now it's opened up other ideas. It's like, okay, so I want to put Becky in Higgsfield, and I want to be able to create Becky cartoons, even if they're just shorts, like one-off shorts or whatever, right?
Mhm. It's like the
So,
conversation we keep having.
yeah.
And I keep thinking, like, so yeah, continuously thinking we're not using it anywhere near its full extent. You got that idea, but then also you have to keep coming back to, like I tell my real entrepreneur members, where you got to use this for real stuff for you right now. It's like,
Yeah.
so as an example, I paid somebody 2 years ago to enter so all, all, all all top quality racing pigeons have pedigrees, yeah?
Okay.
Fine. As an example to give you an idea as to kind of the structure of it. So something like this. This is a pedigree of a racing
Okay.
pigeon with all its parentage and what have you on it.
Okay.
And so I pay somebody to enter all of this manually. This is 2 years ago into our pedigree software. It's an American software. and it's just a horrible job. And I had to go in and edit some bits and work. It's just horrible. And I've been sitting here on over 100 pedigrees to put into the system, waiting. The owner of the company said he was working on AI, tested it about a month ago, AI scanning, a few issues, basic issues. Anyway, a couple of nights ago, I tested it, and it just works beautifully. You know, I'm talking about practical, what we can use this stuff for.
Yeah.
It scans the pedigree. It tells you this pigeon's already in the database. If it's picked up a historic bird that's already in, you click a button and it goes and imports all of the remaining pigeons on the pedigree. Click another button and it goes and generates its version of the pedigree. And I thought, I'm going to ultimately test this. My Irish friend still handwrites pedigrees. It's like one of his things. I've been trying to tell him to go digital. But anyway, I'm going to test it. So I tested it. Perfect. It pulled absolutely everything from the handwriting to where it imported them. So one, a massive change. It's time saver. But two, then the guy's gone and created an MCP connection into the software. So now, I haven't done it yet. So now I can interact with essentially that database within my account using Claude, because one of the things I've got to work on is like doing sales descriptions for birds. So here's two pedigrees of the mom and the dad, or here's the pedigree of the bird itself. Because the mom and the dad's pedigree, interrogate the pedigree, over time build up a data bank of birds and their results and their racing results and all that stuff that it can go and call, and create me a sales page, because I got 130 birds coming up for sale this selling season. And I got to create, and I did it last year, but it was okay, but it was almost too long for people to read and it needed some tweaks. So from a practical point of view, now I can get absolutely everything in to this system, because I collect like pedigrees of birds that I see for sale or that have won races or whatever. I'm never going to own them, but it's just info. I can put all of that then into Obsidian. So I told you I'm going to migrate all of my Evernote stuff to Obsidian, and then I can have.
What's Obsidian? What's that?
Obsidian is a second brain info dump. Basically, that's me. It's a lot more than that. So I've been using Evernote now since I think I started using them 6 months after they launched, and I like it still because I can forward an email into my Evernote or clip a web page. Like all of the pigeon related stuff I see, I just go and clip it and it shoves it in. So imagine Evernote, but on steroids, that can external plugins and scripts and skills that people have created for Obsidian, and then getting Obsidian talking directly to Claude. That then opens up a whole world. If you just type in Obsidian, you'll see it's.
Yeah, I'm on their website right now.
Yeah,
so it's basically notes, right?
Yeah, but with the ability to be able to go and interrogate that data and use it within AI scenarios.
So I can just export my notes out of Notes and into Obsidian, and then it will. I could say, because I have a lot of ghost notes with like half ideas for jokes in there that I need to mine through.
Yeah, well, this will do all the mining for you, categorize stuff. It's. I mean, I've just touched the surface of what this thing can do with external
boards, calendar.
But it's the power, in my limited knowledge of it at the minute, is getting AI to go and interrogate it, pull data, and manipulate that data that's in there. So, for instance, I went through the process of exporting all 45,000 items in my Evernote. So now I'm getting ready to import them into Obsidian. Actually going to be doing it using Terminal, which for me is quite sophisticated. only because I've found a guide how to do it. But then I can have a separate Obsidian vault or whatever for all this pigeon stuff. So then, yeah, I can create a big database and then have these sales descriptions written to where literally all I've got to do is type in the ring number of the sire and the dam, the mom and the dad, and it goes and spits out sales descriptions for me, which is a massive job. I was speaking to somebody yesterday that does this as a service to people on an auction site, and I was saying to him, look, you've got all this data knocking around in Word files and PDFs, and he uses Evernote as well. I said, we can take this to where, this will be a minute or two's job to go and do. So even in my little pigeon world, it's making severe impacts into productivity, saving time, and it is mind blowing where we're at. And I do think
you think you could build a prediction system that takes a look at all these pigeon stats that you have, especially when you talk about racing? Like, do you think you could build a system that could, reliably or at least, better than an educated guess predict outcomes of races?
Maybe. So
with all this supplementary data that you're collecting?
Yeah, maybe. But the key to that is, so we talked about it off live before, that there's one company that does all of the electronic timing for all of the races around the world.
Yeah.
And so like some of our birds were training in a race today. I can see how many I've had back, what time they came in, all of that stuff. Now that's available on the web, but it's not available by API. And the company are being quite protective. I know them well, and they've got all the data. If you could interrogate that data, yeah, you could start doing some really interesting stuff. For instance, there's in its most basic format, I use ChatGPT this week. There's a guy that runs a race here in Wales that's gone quiet, not being very transparent with what's going on with the birds, all this stuff. And I looked at one of these race results, a basketing list to apparently show what's in the loft and what's not. And I'm like, that doesn't look right. So I fed it into ChatGPT, mainly using ChatGPT because I've done it for another race before. And within a couple of minutes, it gave me a full breakdown of, well, the first thing it picked up is of the 502 pigeons it said were there was 100 duplicated on the list, which is technically impossible. This system, you cannot, a ring passes over an NFC pad. It's impossible to duplicate it. Once the pigeon's been gone over the pad once, it won't, for that session, clock again. So the fact that there was 100 made me realize I knew there was something wrong. And then it's just gone and done a full breakdown as to who's lost what, and ultimately asked a lot more questions than it started with. So yeah, data's where it's at, isn't it? It's like, yeah, so the data's out there, but for me, I got 130 birds to sell, of which there are probably 36 different combinations of parentage. And I want to be able to create a advert saying this pigeon's bred from this, that's what it is, whatever. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. And I've been speaking to a few people that have to do this stuff. And ultimately, yeah, I'm going to create a little app that feed one pedigree and feed two, and then it will go and spit out. And then it's a case of calling on external data sources over time and build a big database of this stuff, and it can start calling on that. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. It's funny. I did a test of something new. I'm the Skills Creator. I'm creating a thing called Skills Creator, and I did a test using one of the demos that I was doing to refine it. And I just put in as an example, give me 12 business ideas, and then it goes and asks you these questions and whatever. about your interests and all that stuff. And I went along the pigeon route as an example, and this thing came up with like 12 different ideas, of which 4 or 5 of them were genuinely quite kick-ass. One of them was the one I'm looking to do already down the line with the pull button. But it's so yeah, you can constantly think we're not using it to anywhere near its full extent. But then you start looking at it practically. So everything from Gabby has just discovered the Chrome extension for Claude. So she was amazed at Claude going in and changing her website she's putting together, and her Substack that she's working on. It went and did everything she asked it to. Everything from that to what I've just been talking about, how it's going to save me a massive amount of time and create something that's of value to others to use, to you doing what you've just showed us. And then that's our level. And then you see other people doing just mind-blowing stuff. But it's all relative. Like I said, your mind's been blown over the last few days with Claude Design and Higgsfield and getting them all talking together, which is ultimately the biggest powerful thing. That's why I'm quite excited to get Obsidian going. I haven't had the time, but I'm still going to work on the Hermes agent, combination of Hermes, Claude, Obsidian, and this database that I've already got just for my stuff will be really powerful.
The fact that the fact you can connect all these APIs together now, like, so I'm adding Namecheap, Cloudflare, and AWS so that I can just say, tell me which domains are available. Check, because right now I'm like, hey, help me come up with a name. And it's like, try these. I'm like, no, go check them. Tell me which ones are available. I tell you to register it. I tell you to add it to my AWS server. You create the public bucket. You know what I mean? Like, now you've got this. Now, like, that's the thing that they did that made it so congruent now, is that I add all my products to it. And it even knows, it's like, because I told it already in my custom instructions, I'm on a Mac, here's all the software that I use. And it's like, would you like me to create a Final Cut document? You know what I mean? It's like, yes. And it, it's like, I couldn't believe that, that it's like, it just knows what I'm doing now. And it's like, oh, I'm going to create these sound effects. I'm going to create this. I'm going to do these things all dynamically, and to have that, and it's making all these decisions, it's doing all these things, and it's connecting to all these products, and it knows how to use them better than I do. So it knows which model to choose. And then I'm like, hey, I didn't like that. I want this to work this way. And it's like, oh, I'm going to choose this model this time. And, so like I would have had to research all those things. And, so now I want to do I think with my notes, what I was planning on doing, because Apple Notes will export to MD files. So I was thinking about just creating a giant MD file or multiple, like a folder full of MD files from my notes, and then just plug those into a Claude project and say, hey, let's go through these and help me find the gems I'm missing. Help me find the book ideas and the jokes that I probably have forgotten, or even just like take all my content here and put together, a list of ideas that I jokes and ideas or whatever, without even having to use Obsidian, because I gave up on Evernote a while ago, and because Apple Notes just started doing everything Evernote did, and then I'm like, I don't need it anymore. It works on all my devices. It reads all the PDFs I put into it. It's I can put images in there.
Yeah, I've kept loyal. I mean, I'm cancelled now, so I'm done, and I've been a 15-year whatever customer, but I'm going with Obsidian for a few reasons. One, I want different sections of it, and I want one centralized thing to replicate and improve what I've already got in that. And two, I'm doing it because actually I want to be able to teach my members about it and stuff. This is what I was saying to them on our call on Tuesday, because I had quite a big. I find myself every 3 months. I'm going off subject slightly. But with regards to Obsidian, I know it's so powerful. I've seen some of the case studies people of stuff that's done with it, and I just think the fact that I can get it talking I like it that it's a standalone thing on my Mac or my phone, but it also then can talk to, I don't know how to do that yet. I've got to figure it, but I want to be able to teach others how to do it. And because I think we've all got, I've got a bit of OCD with my notes. So if ever my
Yeah.
notes go over 100, I hate that. And my
Oh,
goal is to get the note. Yeah, because then I go and put any archive notes that I'm not actively working on a daily or weekly basis into Evernote. So it's all
oh,
backed up into Evernote, but I've
right.
got this OCD thing where my notes are kind of got to be for active stuff or whatever. But anyway,
Okay.
so like so I'm going to do that because I've seen some phenomenal cases of people using it for real good, cool stuff with Claude. But I was saying on Tuesday, like, so every quarter I see to, okay, where are we at? Like what kind of hit me was I can remember hitting the 1st of July thinking, okay, second half of the year, where are we at? What have we achieved? What we're doing? All that stuff. And it's been not a normal month for outside of business stuff, whatever. But I've hit the 20th of the month. I'm thinking, fuck, where's that month gone? So now
Yep.
I've got 5 months left of the year. So I went and did a process at the weekend of I basically just went and said I'd got a notes Apple Notes file of like stuff that I'd got to be thinking about, considering, concerns, ideas, whatever. Shoved that in as the basis, and then I basically just did a pretty out, just literally typed with my thoughts on each thing and whatever. Everything from, I've got 54 things sitting on my spreadsheet that a theory I could put out to moving to Romania, or everything. And I shoved it all into ChatGPT and Claude. And I said, help me figure this out. And it did. And it's given me a prioritized, been quite blunt with some stuff as well, which I like. I think that's the training of whatever I've done with it.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know what, if I'm doing this every 3 months or whatever I'm doing, and we all have it to some degree. It's like, are we doing the stuff we should be doing, the stuff that's best serving us or our business, all that stuff? But then I thought, actually that process I've just been through, which took, after I'd written it out, it took no more than half an hour, and I was using 2 because I always like to compare. I started with Grok, but Grok's not the right thing for this. And then I thought, if I'm all these years in still doing this process, then people going to need this. So I went and turned the fucking thing into a skill file for all of my members to use.
Nice.
And, it's a ready to go thing that people can use. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. The trouble is, this stuff gives us, like you said earlier, it's giving you ideas, which are great, new ideas of stuff to implement and do. On paper is great. But as we've said before, that then can create a bit of overwhelm. It's like, what the fuck do I do first? Like I've got 6 electronic-based books about different subjects here. I've got an ideas list of 50 more. That's just one thing. So this process I went through at the weekend has created me a hit list of, right, in the next 30 days, you've got to do this, 60, 90, this is what's going to happen. And I'm just going to follow that and not get sidetracked. I got a lot going on in my life, business, all that stuff. But it does help sometimes for me because I'm always, what I'm proud of myself for doing is sticking to Real Entrepreneur and getting that up and running. And don't get me wrong, it's not where I want it to be, but it's growing and people that are in it are happy. So I went and said to them on Tuesday, I said, look, I'm very aware that I may be, it's like the last software I put out, right? Some survey software, AI based. I use it. I only have put stuff out that I would use. People didn't like it, or it didn't resonate. It didn't sell at the end of the day. And unlike a lot of the gurus out there that do these kinds of programs and memberships, I'll fucking tell my members it didn't. I'll tell people, yeah, that didn't do very well for whatever reason, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's in real. And so I was going through the process with them and I said, like, what do you want? And the overwhelming thing is, yeah, we like the skills you put out because they are useful. We may not use them right now, but they are, if I'm doing something for me, I'll go and create
Skills are
that.
like PLR, right? People collect them.
Yeah, but it might not be, like one of my very first products I put out, which was the newsletter pro. This thing, which I've turned into a skill now instead of a GPT, it'll go and create your newsletters based on any content. One of the very first things I put out. I've given up now because we just free flow it. I used to use that to get topics to talk about if we were struggling on this podcast. I don't even bother now. But so I've had that out for months, 8 months, whatever. But one of my members didn't know about it, started using it. It's an integral part of what she's doing now every week. And it's actively helping to build her business. So it's horses for courses and what people need at the time. So all of the members that were on the call on Tuesday were pretty much saying, yeah, we like it, but we don't want to be building tools that we don't know what to use next. We want the community, the learning. It's like what we do. This podcast has essentially turned into us shooting the shit and coming up with ideas that some people may find interesting.
Right.
And that's what this community is about. And there's some really pretty cool things happened and collaborations happen within it, albeit it's small at the minute. And then you come back to, yes, AI is great, but aside from people that want AI girlfriends or boyfriends, it's that human connection still and that interpretation of conversations and whatever. So, yeah, I've said a lot, said not much, but what I'm trying to say is that each and every one of us have got to be aware of the possibilities of AI and using it to the best of our ability, but also at the same time not getting overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
So I think I've used AI over the last few days to give me clarity and focus, because I am the type of person that will have way too much going on, way too many things to do. And so I've got a 90-day plan now, which I'm going to stick to. At the same time, you're always looking for like this Obsidian thing. Do I need Obsidian now? No, but I'm going to be plugging into all of this pedigree stuff I need to be doing. And that is something I actively have to do. I have 130 birds to sell, and that they need to be sold. So that's going to help me sell them. So, but I think in a bigger picture, even like how long have we been doing this now? I don't know, 4 months, something.
Sure.
Even if you look back to when we started, the sheer speed at which this has all changed in that short space of time, relatively short space of time, and the stuff that we can do now compared to when we started this, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
You've just created a Becky game, which with a bit of tweaking, you could go and put on the .com and have people using as a game some people may want to use.
Yeah.
And you've gone and created the thing you've been talking about doing forever. You already invested money in to get what you got, but couldn't get it over the line. So like you said, that's pretty powerful. The last couple of days, you've actually used AI. So then what I'm saying is as keep questioning, we're not using it to our best ability, we're not using the full extent. Well, actually, it's pretty powerful that you've done them two things, one of which has been a major thing you wanted to do, and it's done with some tweaks. It's ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, for me, it's like I created content, which is, a financial thing for me because as I showed you earlier, Facebook's now paying me. So, that's, gives me more minutes to upload to these platforms. And now I have, it's like everything, right? You do it once, it's like a pancake. You throw out the first pancake. This is garbage, right? This first one is I'm not saying it's garbage. The idea is was more of an exercise than a, than necessarily like putting my best foot forward. I just wanted to see if I could get it to the finish line, and I'm almost there. And now I feel like it's within reach. And yeah, it's put me in a place where, um, you know, a few weeks ago, I hadn't even used Claude Cowork. I'm like, tell me how to use this. And then the minute you said folder of files, I was just like, the light went on. And I got a lot of files, and now I've organized so much in the last few weeks, between SEO optimization, sales copy for all my books, updated all my Amazon products, I'm doing so much with all this stuff. The other thing I want to do is the Frosty the Blowman animated um, pilot, which will be probably the next project. But each month now, I have enough credits for the next year to make, 10 to 15 minutes of content animated.
Mm.
And that to me is the killer. Like my whole life in this business, even when I was before I was a comedian, even in internet marketing, I did a lot. I had a vector cartoon company and I sold clip art. Animation was always that like
Eluded, yeah, the thing that
thing I
eluded
just
you.
couldn't get to, that, and I knew eventually this day would come where I could do
Hmm.
this, but I didn't know how far off it was, and I would have even hired the right people, but it was even hard to find a good studio to work with that was, reasonably priced. I even bought animation software along the way and tried to learn how, and I'm just like, I can't my ADHD brain will not allow me to sit here and work on something frame by frame. I'm just not that granular. I do not like,
No.
I need to outsource that. I don't have the brain for it. I wish I did. I somehow have the brain for coding, but I don't have the brain for animating.
Mm.
And, so as much as I learned how to do a lot of these things, the code part was something I could do line by line if I needed to, because the result was so, the result saved you so much time. But now that I can do this, it feels to me like a light has gone off. I mean, okay, I make cartoon books. Why don't I make cartoons? Right. So now if I can make,
Hmm.
hours of cartoon, and I'll spend extra money on the credits. I'll buy extra credits if I need to. I'm happy to do that. But this 3,000 credits a month with Higgsfield is definitely putting me over the line with, like, I can get a lot done inside Claude. And once I fine tune, hey, these are the characters, this is the voices, I have a Becky voice in ElevenLabs, I do it myself, but it's a pain in the ass. And so I just have it, I trained it on me doing the Becky voice. Um, I haven't used ElevenLabs in months, and I keep saying maybe I should cancel it, maybe I should cancel it, and then I'm like, no, I know I'm going to use it for this. I need it to keep it. It's not expensive. It's like $10 a month or $15 a month or whatever. All these tools combined, you know, cost a lot of money. And I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
what can I get rid of? I canceled Canva. I don't use that anymore. And the annual subscription came up. I'm like, let that go. I
Hmm.
canceled Make. I'm canceling Perplexity this month. Um, I don't even like. I honestly don't see with Claude even necessarily needing Gemini or ChatGPT anymore. Like, I obviously don't use ChatGPT, but I'm even thinking, like, I like Gemini for a couple things, and I'm just going to keep it because like, why not? Because I get all the extra, like, Google Drive and all that stuff with it.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I get Gemini through because I told you before, all of my main emails are run on Gmail, so I have
yeah,
Google Workspace or whatever it's called, and I get it with that. So,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, as I said before, my my stack. I don't really like that word in the context, but is ChatGPT for certain stuff. I still use it for images a lot and for certain other stuff.
like Higgsfield uses GPT image,
Mm, mm.
right?
And
And so does
then
Ideogram.
yeah,
So you
and then
can
I
you can
use
just
Claude
use it.
for I use Grok for any investigatory stuff that's kind of out there compared to what I wouldn't want to potentially have problems with ChatGPT or Claude. But it's funny, I was speaking to John, my friend who's the developer, who's um, and he was telling me he's increasingly, again, not applicable to you, but he has been using ChatGPT's code stuff more than Claude in certain cases. I think there's horses for courses with different stuff, but yeah, I haven't gone down the Higgsfield. I've kind of let Gabby do it.
What did you think of that Facebook offer? Can you believe that?
Yeah, let's talk about that in a minute. Yeah, so tell people.
So Facebook sent me an invite through a notification because I only have like, I don't know, 18,000 followers on my Facebook page. But I have my Instagram connected to Facebook Business Manager or Meta Business Manager, whatever it's called. And so they sent me a notification. They said Creator Accelerator Program. I'm already monetized on Facebook, and I do okay. We've talked about this before. I think last month I made $500. You know, it's better than any other platform's paying me. I mean, you know, my YouTube might be 150 for the same period. So they're of any platform, they're paying me the most for the views. And then they said we have this accelerator program, and I didn't know how it worked, but I always know whenever one of these platforms says connect us to another platform, pick the one with the highest number of followers, right? So they're like, hey, you know, are you on TikTok and YouTube? I'm like, yep. It's like, would you like to connect your TikTok or your YouTube account? I connect my TikTok account. And then it's like, okay, here's your custom offer, $3,000 a month for 3 months. So 9 grand US for 3 months. I have to upload 15 videos a month, and I have to upload on at least 10 unique days each month. So I've already uploaded my 15 for this month, but I have 3 more days of uploads to do, and I have them all scheduled and it's all done.
Easy
It's all
stuff,
scheduled.
really. It's not
Yeah.
anything that is classed as hard work by any means, is it?
You know, if you have 15 videos over 15 days, that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Or 15 videos over 10 days is all you technically need. But I upload at least a couple videos a day, no matter what. So they're getting more out of me anyway. But now it's like, okay, I'm scheduling, I'm making sure this is done, you know, like, so this month is all done, and next month will be, so, and I still have like 24 days, you know, it'll be done in 3 days. And then I'll make sure everything's scheduled for the next round. You know, I recorded some stuff last night. But yeah, it's based on, you know, just hitting these upload targets. But at the same time, I still get paid for views. And because they're paying me, they're also boosting my presence in the algorithm. So I'm getting increased reach for free because they want my shit to be seen now. So it's a win-win. I mean, I can't, you know, I mean, there's no world where this is bad for me. It's
$3 grand a
money.
month for, you know, for 3 months for stuff you do anyway, pretty much.
But it said when I looked afterwards, it said if I had linked my YouTube account, which had less than 1 million followers, if you have less than 1 million followers, it's $1,000 a month. If you have more than 1 million followers, it's $3,000 a month. So that was the line. Was me connecting my TikTok account gave me that offer.
I didn't
But
know
it's
that bit.
yeah, that's the bit that, well, because you know they want creators that are
No, I
already
get
going
it.
viral
But I
elsewhere.
didn't know. Yeah, we didn't speak about that difference.
I didn't even know that when I applied, but I just assumed that it was based on, you know, my other numbers, and it has my Instagram already. But you know, even then, it's like, okay, if you have 100K followers, which is not too hard to do on TikTok these days, like, you know, a couple videos go viral and you can build a following count pretty fast. You know, easy to do. Has Gabby created an avatar in Higgsfield? Like an influencer, an AI
She's
influencer?
just started playing with Miss D character. She's working on, yeah. Yeah, I'll have to send you some of the stuff she's been creating. She's testing mode, but yeah, I'll have to
Yeah, I'd
send you
like to
some
see
of the
that.
bits she's done. Yeah, there's a
I'd like to see
couple
that.
that are. She played around with one just for me, which was very nice to see. Yeah, I'll have to send you them.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. We live in such fascinating times, don't we? Exciting, really, if you can control it and channel it to like I'm trying to do and you're doing. Well, I am doing. You know, it's what's gonna, you know, yeah, stuff's cool and whatever, but what can actually build shit and ultimately earn money out of it? That's what it comes down to. And you know,
Well, I think
now
for
you,
me, you know, being able to create an animated show
yeah,
to me
you got to show
is
within a day or
you
two
know,
of whatever tweaking you got to do. You've got a ready-made, ready
yeah,
to go. Sorry,
and a
thing that
game.
you can go and a game. Yeah, that game, seeing that game, I think I want to do a pigeon one.
You should.
I think I
Yeah,
want to do a pigeon
that's a
game.
great idea. That's a
Avoid
great idea.
the birds of prey and get
You'll
the
just need to
corn.
generate some of the images or that those remember those character sheets you showed me?
Mm,
You just got
mm,
to generate that kind of stuff for the pigeons and for the um
yeah.
you know whatever it is like whatever it is that they're doing in the game.
Hmm.
But you know, you keep it simple. You know, you just make it. You know, and because you know the idea is like you don't want to create this like environment world where you're trying to solve
No,
quests or whatever. It's just got to be like the
no, it's a
pigeon
bit
collects the
simple game.
things or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Gets home. He's got to get
Um,
home. You got the ultimate
yeah.
goal is he's got to get home.
But also he's getting he's also having
Oh my
to
way.
avoid some kind of danger. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I was
Um,
speaking with Simon yesterday, and I asked him if he's got any further. I don't actually think he's developing that sheet, yeah, the character sheet stuff more. So I might just ask him to send it over because it would be very useful for me to use for stuff
you
like
should
we've
create a
just been
skill
talking.
around it. You should create a
Yeah,
skill
yeah,
around it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
You know, maybe
uh,
give it one image and then say, hey, from this generated image of this character, create this sheet.
mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would use that
But it,
skill.
but like with your game, with the games, like and all the
Mm.
characters you've got, you own. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, each main character could have a game. You know,
Yeah, why
and
not?
knowing your brain how it works within the realms of yeah, whatever decency um AIs have to adhere to, you can create some pretty damn cool um games based around.
Yeah.
Imagine taking the top 20 characters that you've got from your books and creating a game.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah. It's all
Yeah,
powerful.
it is. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm I can't believe, like it would be interesting to watch, and I haven't watched any of these, but it'd be interesting to watch because my friend Justin Popovich.
Yeah, yeah. How is he?
He's good. He was here. He was here last week. Came over for coffee, and I still talk to him once in a while. He's still in the PLR business, and
Hmm.
um, he came over the other day, dude, and he was in the exact same place I was a couple of months ago. He's like burnout on AI, hating on it, feeling
Really?
shitty about it. This like negative outlook. You
But is
know,
that connected because of the business he's got and the effects
I,
it's having on that, or is it something else?
Well, I think it's that, but it was also, I mean, he's very good at leveraging these things, so they're using that in their business, and they've figured out ways to like, train it with their content. They're doing cool things with it.
Hmm.
But he kind of had like just like I was, but he had that same burnout that I had a few months ago where I was like, I hate this. I don't even know what I'm doing with this. And now like I was still using it, but I'm like, kind of hating on it. And now I'm in this place where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And I sat him down and I'm like, dude, look what I've been doing with this. Cause I was in I said to him, I'm like, you sound like me a month ago. You sound like I had this exact conversation with Mark. And
Hmm.
he was like, what? And he couldn't believe that we had the same conversation. And so and I'm like, look, this is what I've been doing. And at the time it was like the SEO audit, it was the sales copy, it was all these things. And he was blown away. He was just like, oh my God, like I really never thought about sort of giving it my databases and helping to optimize them and giving it my content and helping to optimize it.
Well, he's 5 minutes thinking related to his business and how he could get some amazing stuff done with the database of content he's got, and oh, it's
Yeah.
yeah, 10 minutes of brainstorming that stuff. He's got some phenomenal
He could be shitting out
things.
faceless YouTube channels. He could be doing, all
Yeah, yeah,
kinds
yeah.
of, and that's another thing I want to do. I'm saying this stuff out loud because you know what I found? I found that these calls force me to get shit done because I want to show you what I did. So yesterday I was like, I'm gonna get this done because I want to show this to Mark. So
Hmm.
like having these calls gets me like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
deadline. It gives me a place
yeah,
to be
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I want to have this ready. But I want to do something faceless. I want to do like a faceless YouTube channel. Just a lot of these things, dude, are just because in my head, it's like that when I created the other channel. I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna make any money. I don't even know if I'm still working on it or if I still want to do it. But I just needed to get it out of my head because I keep thinking I have to close these
It's a
loops, right? It's
creative
like
element of
it's
it,
an
yeah.
idea I have, and if I don't close the loop, it doesn't leave.
Hmm.
But as soon as I do it, it frees up the space, just like your notes, right? But I
Well, I
have to do
told
it in
you,
I have
yeah,
to
yeah,
do it in my
yeah,
brain.
yeah.
I have to finish it,
Yeah, I
you
mean, I
know?
could never have the hard limit in my notes without not keeping them. It's just that particular thing I look at. It does my head in. It starts creeping up to 100. I'm like, no, time for a clear down. I told you I'm being bombarded with Facebook reels of definitely AI made stuff because I started clicking on. I was interested in what's going on with the AI stuff, and all of the stuff is just suggestive stuff, obviously on Facebook, but it's an interesting topic, and I'm getting bombarded every day. I'm switching it to my other profile because I don't want to keep getting bombarded with the stuff on my main. But the boundaries that are being pushed already in the last couple of weeks that I'm seeing are unbelievable. Relatively basic stuff, but suggestive movements that don't actually show anything, but any adult would know what it's suggesting. And then the biggest boundary push I saw, which again is relatively simple, but this AI based girl, again, suggestively, but then the text at the bottom was reversed. So people had to work out what this thing was saying, and it was very out there. But obviously, within they're getting around this stuff, and then you start clicking through to see the follow accounts and stuff that some of these pages have got. It's fucking mind blowing, and
Really?
they're all AI,
Yeah.
under 8 seconds long. You know, I think you've just got people shitting out this stuff to build traffic and whatever, and yeah, it's some mad times we live in. But here and now, my big outside of regular work and business stuff is getting this pigeon shit done. Because yeah, I got 130 to sell, and that's some going for me this year. Anyway, it's not for a lot of people, but it is for me. Because and the other thing is this: like last year, I had the luxury of saying, yeah, well, if like 48, I thought that I'm all right. I'm just going to keep them. They're going to be better to sell next year. I haven't got that luxury this year. There's one, Romania plans. Two, it kind of moved to another phase. So yeah, I got some stuff to do there, but I am looking forward. It's funny how all the crossovers happen. I am looking forward to using AI to get this stuff done. Like I got 57 coming in on Friday from Ireland, from my friend in Ireland, who I'm selling them for him over here because the market's better over here for him. So the fact that I could, same guy that handwrites his pedigrees, the fact that I know this stuff will scan that handwriting and it's bang on, that's
Hmm.
a big job out of my way having to figure out how to do that. I can literally, I was saying to somebody yesterday, the best thing I've, outside of my 49-inch screen, the longest term best investment I've ever made, which is 10 years old now, is the Fujitsu ScanSnap scanner I've got.
You mentioned that before.
Such an amazing piece of kit. The best thing I've had that still works as good as it did 10
I
years
remember
ago.
I had one years ago. It scanned right to Evernote. It was great.
Yeah. And I use it all the time. So for this, he's going to be obviously on Friday, I'm going to get 57 pigeons, 57 pieces of paper. and this thing will just, it'll scan 57 pages in less than 2 minutes. And then I'll just put it into another thing I've got called PDF Expert, which will go and split that up into individual files. And then I'll go and shove that into this system and off we go.
Right.
Anyway, we better call it on that. Yeah, let's see what next week brings. I'd like to think I can have Obsidian up and running with all of my initial data in. I mean, I'm only the focus at the minute of getting all that Evernote stuff in. And it's like what I'm looking forward to doing is saying, right, to Claude, go and take this Obsidian content and categorize it. Pigeon stuff, business stuff, whatever. And do that, because I haven't touched my Evernote for filing. I remember the last time I tried to file my Evernote shit was 12 years ago on a road trip to France, and I got nothing else better to do. And I want Obsidian to do all of that stuff. And then when I start thinking about it, I have external files of all kinds of archive stuff, 1-2 terabyte drives. I haven't touched for ages. I've got one files drive connected onto my network that it's been on my list to go through and give it all that stuff, So
yeah,
we'll see. All right. We'll call it that. Thank you for listening, watching. Catch you next week. Have a good week.